Okay. So, is there any questions before we start something new? Yes? Good. So what's the questions then? Yes?
Page 23.
23, yes?
Number 5.
Okay. Anything else? Number 1, on the same page? Okay. And which one? Number 6.
6.
Right, okay, so 1, 5, and 6 then. Yes? One of each? Okay. Okay, so let me do 1b. Y equals minus x squared plus 1. I'll make my table. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then here's my y. So minus 3 squared is 9. With the minus makes minus 9. With the plus 1 makes minus 8. So far okay. Minus 2 squared is 4. With the minus is minus 4. Plus 1 is minus 3. Minus 1 squared is 1. With the minus is minus 1. Plus 1 is 0. 0 squared plus 1 is 1. 1 squared with a minus, so that's a 0. 2 squared is 4. Minus 4 plus 3 is minus 3. And then 3 squared is 9. So minus 9 plus 1 minus 8 then. So if I was to draw this, x, y, if I go to minus 9 and minus 3 and 3, and then we'll make this 9 and minus 9. So minus 3 minus 8 would be like here. Minus 2 minus 3 would be like here. Minus 1 and 0 would be there. 0 and 1 would be there. 1 and 0 would be there. 2 and minus 3 would be there. And 3 and minus 8 would be here. And then connect the dots. Whoops. And that would be the answer then. Okay. So if you had a bit of trouble with that, write that down, please. And then I'll do 5b and 6b. Yes?
I have a question about 4B.
4b.
Yeah.
Yes, what's the question?
I tried to get the points at factorizing,
Yes?
but it didn't work.
It looks like the factors there would be 8 and 8.
Yeah.
8 times 8 is 64. And, yeah. Okay, I'll do 3b next. So I have to scroll down here. So that's 1b. Okay, now time for 3b. So I have y equals x squared plus 10x plus 9. By the way, that equals 0 shouldn't really be there, so we don't need to write that in. Right, sorry, I wrote down the wrong one. That's 16 and 64. Okay. Now, the factors here are x plus 8 and x plus 8. Or if you want, you can just say that's x plus 8 squared. Now, what you do first, remember you say let y equals 0, therefore, so if y is 0, what would x be here? -8, yeah.
So that's 4
Sorry, isn't that what you wanted? Was it 4b or 3b?
It's the right one.
Yeah, but I just wrote 3b, but yeah, sorry, 4b. Okay. Let y equal 0, so therefore x equals minus 8. Is that okay? Right, okay. Now, let x equal 0. What does y equal? Yes. 8 squared. Or if you put it 0 here, you get 64. Okay? So, your points are, it will cross the x-axis at minus 8 and 0, and then it will cross the y-axis at 0 and 64. But notice there's only one answer here. So when I make it cross the x-axis, I need to cross it only once. So that's why it'll look like this. There's only one answer here. So it touches only once.
Yeah, that was because I thought it would cross some other points, so I thought that my wording was wrong.
No, that happens sometimes. Or if you want to think about it another way, it crosses twice, but it's the same place. Okay, write that down, so. Scroll up. Okay. While you're writing that down, I'll take the attendance here. Hold on. Here. So I won't bother to say here now. Fumi. Okay, so. Then. Questions? The sharing. Ceremony. Don't talk, just need to write. In Avenue, Green, Mohammed, Brandon, Joseph, Sammy's gone. Ahmed, yes. Ali, yes. Hassan, yes. 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 Video, yes. Yes. Question. Okay, what one did I say I'll do next? That was for 5b and 6b, yeah? Okay, so 5b, let me scroll down a bit actually. Give you a minute to draw that if you need to, and then 5b. Okay, next one now. 5b, y equals minus 9x squared minus 9b. 2x squared plus 32x plus 137. Okay, let me clean that. 137. Now, in case I didn't tell you this word last time, and I don't think I did, but I'm sure if you were stuck you could have looked up a dictionary. Vertex, does anybody know what this is?
The lowest point.
Yeah, the lowest point or the highest point. So, this suggests I should use completing the square. What do I do first here? I take out my 2. So I have x squared plus 16x plus 137 over 2. Now, what does my a equal here? 8. So y equals 2 x plus 8 squared, and now I need to do this number minus 16, 132 over 2 or something?
9 over 2.
Oh, that's even better. 9 over 2.
Minus 9 over 2.
Minus 9 over 2. Oh, sorry, 64. What am I saying? 16. Right, minus 9 over 2. And then I'm multiplying the 2. And I get this. Okay. And you can see from looking at this, what's the minimum point? Minus 8 and minus 9. Yes.
Why did you get minus 8?
Where? Here?
Minus 8, yeah.
You always change the sign of this one.
Yeah, why?
But we did this last week. Remind you, yes. The reason is you want to make this 0 so you can get the minus 9. So the only way to make this piece here 0 is to make x equal minus 8, because you want the minus 9, because the minus 9 is the lowest point. So you want to make this a 0.
So what's 8 is equal to 8? 8 equal 8, what's that?
It's just something I write down to help me complete the square. It's like rough work. You know what I mean? Yes? It's like a rough work. Is that okay? Now if I do a quick draw on here, minus 8 minus 9 would be like here. Wouldn't it? Yes, and that's the lowest point. Now, if I put x as 0, what do I get here? 137, isn't it? So there's maybe 0, 137. So if I draw it, you know, something like that. Yes? This should be plus here? Who told me minus? Right, this is plus, yes? Thank you, plus, 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 so that changes this. Okay. Well, that totally changes the answer here. Why is that? Why does that totally change the answer? Well, yeah, that too, but what's different about the graph now? That's very important. Doesn't cross the x-axis. So if you were to try and find when y equals 0, you can't, because y will never be 0. In fact, what's the smallest y could be? 9. So you're not going to get below 9 on the y-axis. Okay, 6b now. Sketch each of the following. In all cases show the vertex and the y-intercept. In some cases you can also show the roots. To be honest, I will decide now not to do number 6 because I feel it is just too similar to the previous ones. There's nothing different in it. You complete the square, you get the minimum, you get the where it crosses the y-axis, and when you draw your graph, if it looks like it crosses the x-axis, then you should also find where it crosses the x-axis too, okay? So I'm not going to do number 6 here because I feel there's nothing new or different in it to the previous ones. Sorry, Hassan.
My question was number 5.
Oh, okay, so you're okay then. Okay, so next section. Next section is called the Quadratic Formula. From high school, my teacher always called it the minus b formula. So if I sometimes call it the minus b formula, I'm actually talking about the quadratic formula, which I think is what everybody probably calls it in their high school if you studied in English. Would that be right? Quadratic formula? Anybody here called it the minus b formula? Yes? Oh, really? That makes me happy. So the quadratic formula, and then I had some students say their teacher called it the mother of all formulas or something like this because of how useful and important it is. So quadratic formula now. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to try and find a formula here for a quadratic equation. So we'll start off with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And the only thing I'll say is a is not 0. Why a not 0?
If it's 0, it's going to be linear.
Yeah, because if it's 0, it's linear, not quadratic. So as an absolute minimum to make sure it's quadratic, a is not 0. Okay, let's pretend we were completing the square. Okay, so if we were completing the square, what would we do first?
Take out a.
Take out the a. Okay. Now, I want to try and make this as easy as possible, okay? So if I divide both sides by a, divide by a, I'm allowed to do that because the a is not 0 for sure. So that and that cancel. And what's 0 over a? 0. So I'm just left with this now. X squared plus b over a x plus c over a equals 0. Okay, I'll just pause every moment or two here so you can keep up. Okay, now again, if we're completing the square, let's imagine, what would I do next? Yeah, I would say a equals half of this middle one here. So what's half of this? B over 2a. Okay, or if you want, it's a half multiplied b over 2a, which is the same thing. Yep. Okay, so this would be, if you remember, x plus b over 2a, what goes here? Square. Then, what do I do at the piece at the end? If you remember, I take this and minus this squared. So I take that and minus this squared. What's this squared? It'd be b squared over 4a squared equals 0. Let me just put a box or something here. So. Now, for those of you who know the formula, which I'd imagine will be a lot of people here, you can see how it's starting to come together. You got your b squared, you got your 4a here, so it's not too much more to go. What do you think I should do next? No, definitely not. I should take these two over to the other side, right? But before I take them over to the other side, I think I'll try to make them one fraction. Okay? Now if I look at the denominators here, this denominator is 4a squared, and this one here is just a. So if I want to be smart about this, what should I multiply this and this by to make them the same denominators? I want these to be the same.
4a.
Yeah, if I multiply the top and bottom by 4a, so 4a multiply a, 4a squared, and 4a multiply c, 4ac, yeah. For AC. Now that these are the same, I can put them together as one. So I have x plus b over 2a squared. I'll take it over to the right. So that minus becomes a plus, and that plus becomes a minus. So I get b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. Really only 2 lines left. What do you think I should do next?
Put the b squared over. Is the root?
Take the root, the square root next. So if I take the square root, this goes. I get a square root here. And of course a plus or a minus. Now I can't do anything with the top. That's stuck, but I can do something with the bottom. What's the square root of 4a squared?
2a.
2a. So I get x plus b over 2a. You come back at 10. X plus b over 2a equals, here I get 2a, here I get plus or minus b squared minus 4ac, and then the very last line, just take that over, and it's done. So I get x equals minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and that's plus or minus here. Okay, I'll pause there for a minute. Make sure you write that down clearly. You'll have to, well, I'm going to say you have to memorize it, but you're going to do it so many times you will. Yes? Say again?
Can you come on the shirt?
Oh, yeah. You're right, this is formula.
Like, I got mixed up, like, I knew that this is the formula, I'm like, what's it?
I'm doing the proof of it. I don't like saying, here's the formula, and give it to you like it came from heaven or something. I want you to see where it came from.
There's a question about that. You write the formula.
Say again?
Exactly. There's a question about writing the formula.
You'll get questions about using the formula.
What's happening with that?
You mean proving the formula? Oh no. This is just for your enjoyment and benefit. Because I'm sure you want to understand where it came from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Make sure you write that formula down very clearly in your notebook. Okay, I'm going to go to a new page now, but if you haven't finished writing that down, I'll leave the bottom of it up. So, here's our first example. I ask you to find the roots of 8x squared plus 2x minus 15. Does anybody know what the word roots here means? Unfortunately, it's the same word as square root, but it doesn't mean square root. Does anyone know?
Square is a more specific thing.
No, forget square root entirely. Yes? You know?
The x-intercepts was
Not the x-intercept, yeah. So the roots here just means the x-intercepts, or in other words, the roots of an equation of a function just means when does it equal 0. So in other words, this is just a different way of saying solve it, tell me the answer for x. Okay? So we'll use our formula we've just found. What's a here? 8, b, 2, and c minus 15. So, using our formula, x equals minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a, which will be 16. Now, I need somebody please to give me this piece here. What's inside the square root? So what's that? 32 times 15 plus 4.
22.
But no, before the square root. Yeah. So if you just do 22 squared.
484.
Plus minus root 484 over 16. Yeah? Now in this example, it's nice because root 484, square root 484 has a nice answer. You said it was 22, was it? Yeah. So that's minus 2 plus or minus 22 over 16. So let's take the minus first. Minus 2 minus 22, that's minus 24 over 16, which can be simplified as 12 over 8, 6 over 4, 3 over 2? Is that right? Yes? Why am I getting... I should be seeing people like checking this on their calculator. So is this minus 3 over 2?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. And then the second answer, if I do the plus, 22 minus 2, 20, 20 over 16, 10 over 8, 5 over 4.
Yes.
So my two answers are x could be 5 over 4 or minus 3 over 2. 5 over 4 minus 3 over 2. Yes. Okay, write that down, please. Okay, next example now. Same thing really. X squared minus 16x minus 14. I want to solve this. So, A equals 1, B equals minus 16, and C equals minus 14. So using my formula, x equals minus b plus or minus square root b squared, is that right? 16 squared minus 4ac, 14, minus 56. all over 2a. Please check that. Now is that right? Is this 16 squared?
Yeah.
Come back at 10. 10 o'clock, come back. Yeah. That's 16 squared, and then 4 times 14 is that, yes? Oh wait, but it's minus 4ac with another minus, so I need a plus here, right? Because of the minus. If you look at the formula has a minus in it, so there's going to be 2 minuses. Are you happy with that? Yes, I just see unhappiness in front of me.
Minus 16 or 16?
This one here is 16 because it would have been minus 16. Minus would have been here. So there was minus here, and there was minus here. That's why they're both positive now. Okay? Right. 16 plus or minus square root 312 over 2. Now I can tell you now I don't think 312 will do anything nice here. So let's try and figure out here 312. So 312 2 times 156. Is that right? Yes. 156 is 3 times 52. 52 is 26 times 2 or 13 times 4. Okay, sorry about this little rough work here, but if you work it out, it would be 16 plus or minus 2.
17.
78 here, yes? 2 times 3 times 13. 6 times 13. That looks like it could be 78. Alright, over 2. And then finally, what do I do at the end? Put the 2 into both of those. So I get x equals 8 plus or minus root 78. They're the 2 answers. Okay, the next example is really exactly the same thing, except this time they ask you to give your answer in a different form. So what I'm going to do is just take this answer as an example. So what they could ask you to do, for example, they might say give your answer to 2 decimal places, or for short 2 dp, decimal places. Okay? So, can somebody please check what each of these answers is on their calculator? So I'll write them here. So give me the plus one first. 8 plus root 78.
10.8.
What is it?
10.83.
Give me a few more, please.
176.
Dot, dot, dot. Okay. And then what's this one?
Minus 6.8317.
So it's 16.8.
Hang on.
16.
Wait. The first one is?
16.83.
Yes? Keep going.
1.
Okay. The next one?
Is minus 0.8317.
8, 3.
1, 2.
Okay. As an example, let me show you two decimal places. Decimal places. Two decimal places, you could probably figure it out, means after the decimal, that's what this is called, decimal point. After the decimal, go two numbers only. After the decimal, go two numbers only. So that means the answer is 16.83 and minus 0.83. And by the way, if this number was bigger than 5, what would happen to the tree? Becomes 4, yeah. What's that called when you do that? Round up, yeah. So in this example, what did I do? I round down. Okay. Now the next one, let's do, for example, 3 significant figures. Okay. Does anybody know what significant figures are? This isn't as common, but what significant figures means is you start at the very beginning and count out 3 numbers. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'll just do this one first. 1, 2, 3. So that would be 16.8. And again, we round down. Now, I do the same thing for this one, but please note, when you count significant figures, if the first number is 0, you don't count that, okay? So I don't start here with 1. I don't count that. I skip it. I start here. This is the first number that isn't 0. So I go 1, 2, 3. And what number do I write here? 1 or 2? 2. Okay, write that down, please. Just be careful here, because you know it's easy to confuse decimal places and significant figures, DP and SF. Okay, DP I think everybody has done before, you know, but maybe the other one, significant figures, is not so common. Okay, so just be careful with that.